Good morning, everyone. Today, me and Tabitha will be presenting on the app Shazam. So, if you're wondering about the title of our presentation, it's like, before we actually had this kind of apps that identify music, right? Then you would hear like a snippet of music. Maybe you're walking past a shop, but then no one is able to memorize the entire lyrics. So you just enter something like this into Google. But then now we have stuff like Shazam and somehow to help you with music identification. Okay, so before we start, Tabitha will lead a class activity.
Okay, let's just try something. So like for Shazam, they are famous. I guess Jamie Foxx made it famous where he had a Beat Shazam segment. So maybe we can try that. I hope maybe you guys can try to participate a bit. Okay, so this is the first song. Let's just try it manually with Shazam. Like just a cute game.
So if you all know the song, right, then you all can just shout out first and try and beat the app. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, so let's try running it at the same time. 3, 2, 1.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my old life behind.
I guess y'all knew the song before it came out, right? I think it's not loud enough. That's why it's not identifying. But yeah, it'd be fun if we saw a hand. Like you don't have to
You can just shout it
say
out.
the name,
Yeah.
but maybe you just raise your hand and we just see like which is faster. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Faster. So I guess humans can still beat machines. So
Yeah. Okay, so this is basically the outline for our presentation today. So we already did the class activity. So after this, we'll be going on to the basics. What is Shazam? How it works? And its difference between it and its other competitors, mainly SoundHound. Okay. So to start off, the basics. So to understand how Shazam works, we actually have to understand how it actually analyzes the music. So as we all know, music is actually just basically an arrangement of sound, while sound is actually just the vibrations in the air. So the computer actually cannot really understand these vibrations unless it's actually converted into something that is able to be analyzed by the computer itself as well. Okay, so that is basically what Shazam does. It converts the vibrations into something that it can analyze, and then it will identify against a database. So to go more in depth, this is Shazam. Shazam can identify music, and it doesn't need very long snippets of sound to actually identify this music. It is said that it can use less than 10 seconds of music before it can use less than 10 seconds of music before being able to identify the music accurately. Okay, so how does it work? So, okay, sorry. This video is supposed to be the Shazam founder showing, explaining how it works, but it doesn't seem to work on her comp. Sorry. Okay, but it's okay. This is just one of the short segments that we have, so never mind. I'll explain how Shazam works anyway. Okay, so for the first step, Shazam will actually convert the vibrations in the air, basically the sound, into something that it can read. So it uses something like this. This is one of the equations that it may use to actually convert the sound into data that it can read in its system as well. So the second step, when it converts, it will convert into the diagram on your left, the spectrogram. So the spectrogram is actually a three-dimensional graph that indicates the peaks and the valleys of the music. So when let's say for example, when the pitch peaks, so it will be indicated by one of the darker dots on the spectrogram. And then at the same time, the spectrogram is also converted into a constellation map, which is a 2D version of it, the one on the right, so that it's easier to be analyzed. It's easier to analyze, yeah. Okay, and next, it will start a fingerprinting process. So from the constellation map we saw before, it will do a fingerprinting process. So what a fingerprinting process does is basically similar to your k-means clustering. So they will get a specific area within that constellation map, and then they will start connecting dots, collecting the peaks in that constellation map to form a very specific fingerprint, similar to like our fingerprints, because every single song has very different peaks and valleys as well. And then at that, when they have that one cluster already, they will start identifying every pair with one anchor point. So as you can see here, so the anchor point is this one here, while every single pair is connected to that anchor point. And then that snippet of sound will have multiple pairs like this. Okay. So after that, this fingerprint is matched against their database of all their songs. So all the songs actually basically go through this same process, just that they will analyze the entire song rather than snippets of the song. So after that, when you cross-reference against the database, you will identify the song. Yeah. Okay, so basically overview, short overview again. Shazam will convert the music into something it can analyze. It will then create a spectrogram, which is the thing that is analyzed by the app itself. After that, it creates a fingerprint based on this spectrogram, and then this fingerprint is then matched against their database. Okay, so Tabitha will continue with the next part.
Okay, so how is it different from its competitors? The major competitor that Shazam has is SoundHound, because it is most like it in terms of the service that it provides, and also in terms of the market share and how long it has been in the market. So, and also because there's the most number of comparisons and literature regarding it. So first we look at like one aspect of Shazam which we found that was different from SoundHound is that it has this optimizing search. Honestly, right, for SoundHound there isn't much existing stuff about how exactly it works, but we thought this was quite interesting to share. Shazam, how it optimizes its search and make it so much faster than SoundHound in identifying music is that it realized that from its data that, as you can see in the graph over here, that over 95% of its music that was being searched was actually from a small section of popular music. So that 5% was other alternative genres that were not as popular. So what they did was they did it into different tiers, a tiered system, where the first tier consisted of that 95% of the popular music, and then it just moved on based on whether or not it could match and it could identify. If it couldn't fit into the first tier, then it would move on to the second tier, and then so on until it identified the music in its database of millions of songs. So in another thing that we found is this is just the major differences based on a paper that and also like other sites, is that the algorithms were different. So like for the major difference between SoundHound and Shazam is that SoundHound has got its humming. It identifies voices and singing. So it uses a slightly different algorithm, sound to sound, and it has the query by humming, whereas Shazam is audio fingerprinting, as Daron has explained just now. And also the consistency of identification. Like for SoundHound, what it does is, if it cannot identify the song, it would put non-identifiable. Whereas for Shazam, it tends to identify a song no matter what. And it could be a wrong identification, which is also why the accuracy is also slightly different, where SoundHound would be considered more accurate because they would rather put no close matches than a wrong song. Whereas for Shazam, they would rather give you a song even if it's wrong. But it's only very little bit, like it's only a 5% difference. And also the speed of identification. So, should we try another one? Yeah, so I think it's quite noticeable for SoundHound and Shazam as to the speed. Okay, so let's just try. There are different genres that we have over here. The first, we will try classical music. So by right, SoundHound should be identifying it better because it does melodies and singing, humming voices better. So
We the best music. Another one. DJ Khaled.
And then let's try Korean music. From my personal experience, it doesn't do, both of them don't do Korean music very well. So considered popular music, also slightly more popular music, maybe. Okay, so yeah, as you can see that in terms of the different genres of music, it does affect which music identification program works better. So like for somehow it seems like classical is a wider range of alternative music, which you can identify better, whereas for Shazam it seems to work better with popular music a lot faster, typically like 2 times faster. And then the types of music, as we said, live music, singing, all these, somehow is better compared to Shazam. Shazam algorithm has worked better in terms of ambient noise, being able to pull out the sound better. And yeah, in terms of how both are also moving towards and expanding its array of services, is that somehow is going into voice assistant using their Houndify, if I'm not wrong, yes. And then Shazam is going into TV and image identification. So potential further uses for this algorithm would be that audio content and monitoring, which could be somewhat similar to YouTube's content ID, where they search through whatever that has been uploaded, and then after that they match it, and from there they see what the copyright owner wants to do with it. Do they want to take it off, or do they want to monetize it? And then also integrity verification to see whether or not there's any modification or distortion of the recording, and whether it has been changed from its original. And also for watermarking against copy attacks to see whether or not people have slightly changed it by watermarking certain points and seeing whether or not it matches when they run both. So that's it. Thank you.
So what happens when you play multiple songs at the same time?
I think both would work. Or maybe it would take the louder one.
The louder one.